Welcome to Sports Scope, the most influential sports talk show in the nation.
What is today, the 19th?
Stay tuned for updates and great sports content.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Real Sports Scope. I'm your host, Robert Butler, on this Friday the 13th day here. The Mad New Yorker said he will be on tonight. He is in Toronto for the family. I got to ask him about that. He hasn't came backstage yet, but of course we got to take our break here. But we're going to talk about this week's biggest games. The Bills and the Lions will be playing. And also thoughts and prayers with Randy Moss and his family. I noticed he's battling some form of, I think it's pancreatic cancer, if I'm not mistaken. Had a procedure done, says he's going to get some more chemo. Looks like he got it early, but 47 years old. Thinking about old Randy Moss there. Gonna get well soon, man. But going to ask the Mad New Yorker. Been wanting to ask him all week about this Juan Soto contract. What does he think as a major Mets fan there? Biggest contract in history of sports signed up this week here. So we'll talk about that, and we'll go over, like I said, this week's biggest games, including that Lions-Bills could be a potential Super Bowl preview there. We'll go over that. But first, let's take our first and only break. We'll be back here shortly, hitting the ground running here on the Real Sports. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program.
Introducing National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk programming that you can access 24/7. For the premier sports talk experience, tap into our Roku channel. Start your mornings with Mac and Jack covering all the weekend sports action. Then pour a cup and enjoy all the sports you can drink on the Coffee and Sports podcast. At midday, talk sports from east to west on the Coast to Coast podcast. Followed at night by some hot girl talk with Prim and Proper Sports featuring Sonia Pearson. Talk boxing on the Gloved Fist. Yankee fans tune in for Start Spreading the News. And there's more on the College Sports Huddle and Sports Scope with Robert Butler. There are 20 podcasts in all and 70 weekly shows, giving us a 3.4-star viewer rating. To find us on Roku TV, search for National Streaming Sports on the Roku search bar. Click on the logo and you're in. National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk for America.
All right. Now we are back live here, and I want to bring the Mad New Yorker here from Toronto. All right, so got to hear your story, man. What brings you to TO? Drake would say.
I'm hanging out with Drake right now. We he'll be back in a few minutes. You know how it is.
Let my TO girls. Fancy, huh?
No, I have the opportunity to come here with my son. He's entering a regional tournament for Pokemon.
Really?
The card playing game. He's really into it. This is his first actual big tournament that he's in. We're really hyped about it. We're having a good time over here. Right now, he's eating some pizza, relaxing. He started playing some more games with some people here in the hotel who are here for the tournament. I got the little band for the parents. So, I'm
How
doing
long a flight was that from Toronto to New York?
It's just it's less than 2 hours, like an hour and 40 minutes. So
okay, nice. Nice.
Yeah, it's an 8-hour road trip, but it's his first time. I didn't want to have him have any kind of issues or Did
you drive it or you flew?
No, we flew. Yeah. So
that's tight, man.
Yeah, we're excited.
You're not too far from John Restano.
Yeah, I heard. Niagara Falls is 2 hours away from here. I should have told, man, we should have met up for a cup of coffee or something, because it is cold, man. This is a different kind of
How
cold.
cold is it up there?
Like they say it's about 25 degrees, but it feels like it's 10 degrees with the wind blowing, bro. So it's like,
Oof.
yeah,
It's a
man,
warm 45 here in Nashville.
yeah. So it's good. Good luck to all the people in the tournament tomorrow, this weekend. Like it's gonna be
What
great,
time
man.
does this tournament start?
So the people start, the kids, everybody playing start at 9 o'clock. So
9 o'clock Eastern. That's early.
Yeah, man. And it's it's a fun thing, man.
How long does it go on?
So they have different types of competitions, and like in his age group, he's gonna start off with the big competition. It starts off at 9, and then if things don't go well, they have other side competitions as well. So it's a nice organized event. They got things for everybody here, and it's my first time, and I'm kind of impressed with what's
going on.
It's
just you and your son?
Just me and my son right now. Yeah.
Wow. Did you see any of the stadiums while you were there? Will the Raptors play or Blue Jays?
Yeah, so I pass. I'm in the downtown area, so I'm by where the Maple Leafs play.
Okay.
And the Raptors, and then also I'm past the new soccer stadium that I have here in Toronto. I'm right. I don't know if you saw the picture I said earlier this morning. I'm like right around the corner from the Space Needle. Yeah, so everything's really cool down here. People are really great. The only thing is this wind is real, bro. This cold wind is real, and it's okay. I'm all right about it, because we just haven't had it yet in New York, in the city of New York. We hadn't had that kind of cold yet, but we good. We're all right.
I remember people complaining that the year the All-Star game was up there, and I was like, February, Toronto, it's going to be pretty cold.
I mean, there's a lot of things to do around here, so that's pretty nice. I like it. We'll get a weekend trip going or something. We can all come up here and hang out, man.
Come up there during the summertime.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about February.
I've always wanted to see Toronto. I've never been to Boston.
Yeah.
I mean, I lived in New York and everything, but I still ain't been to Philadelphia. You got the Mets shirt on. I've been down all week, man. What's your thoughts about Juan Soto? Huge contract. Didn't see that coming.
You never count another man's money, and I'm gonna keep saying that. I always say that. God bless him and what he's gonna do. His choices that he made. Look, now, and I look at it like this, being the baseball side of it. Is he Harper? Is he Trout? Skill-wise, I'll probably put him underneath both of them. However, his batting is superb, which is one of the things that the Mets need. His age is why that number exists, right?
Yeah, 27, I think, right?
Yeah,
26.
so and good for him. He's doing what he wants to do, and he'll help out the team for sure. But the only thing I'm worried about is so much money being directed to paying him. What are the plans that the Mets have for the rest of the team? Because the best situation that they're in is the fact that they have literally 8 young players in the system that can kind of play professionally right now. Should they play right now? That's neither here nor there, but they got about 8 to 10 guys who can pull up or move around if they need to move around to get more players. So they're not done. They've gotten some pitchers, Montez. They got a few guys in the bullpen, but we'll see. Like, it's one of those things that, does this guarantee them a World Series? It's never guaranteed any team a World Series. Now, he won a World Series with the Nationals, but he was part of a team that won that World. He wasn't,
and turned down $400-something million a couple years ago from the Nationals.
Yeah, and then he ended up in San Diego. They didn't, and then he moved to New York, and now he's moving down to another borough, and we'll see what happens. I'm not one of those guys that's screaming at, our owner Steve Cohen got us a player and this and that, and because I don't believe, like, me, I'm not about the jersey sales. I'm about the making sure you get into
actually winning.
You got to win. You got to win, and you got to prove.
You don't think this will take away from other holes that need to be filled, do you? Because of the cost of the contract?
I think the effect will become in year 2 or 3, where you'll see movements that are going to be kind of looked at and thought about twice. And then I'm not sure if you know this, but he sold his rights to the minor leagues teams of the Brooklyn Cyclones and also for the Ponies up in upstate New York. So
Okay.
and then the minor league teams for the Mets. So he no longer has control of those two minor league teams. So Binghamton Ponies, yeah. So he's clearing space to pay Soto. Cohen is. So I mean, look, it's business. At the end of the day, it's more business than it is baseball, and I wish it wasn't. But will the Mets be in the World Series? That doesn't guarantee a slot in the World Series. No one player, even with Shohei, wasn't a guarantee to go to the World Series, right? Because if you said that about Shohei last season, he from the playoffs until the end of the last game, he played like a mediocre player because of his injuries. So now the Dodgers did win the World Series and they did get there, but they had a hell of a bullpen, a hell of a team. So, this not.
Are you excited about this? I mean, what's your grade on this move? Did you want Soto on the Mets?
Yeah, I'm excited about the fact that there's another superstar on the team. I am excited about that. I'm not excited, and I'm not a fanboy to say we're going to win the World Series and we're going to sweep. I'm not that excited. So again, I try to keep it real, and the Mets, even though they filled 2 holes, now they got to fill up 5 more holes, and now they got to figure it out.
What's the next biggest hole they need to fill?
The third base, and what are they gonna do about second base? Are they gonna keep some of those players? What are their plans? Even the whole Pete Alonso deal. There's a few things there that are not situated and not a comfortable conversation with a lot of people, So.
Okay. Yeah, man. I think if anybody can absorb that, a team like New York in that market and an owner like Cohen could absorb it, this would cripple a Rangers or I don't know, a Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
We were alive. You remember we were all freaked out about. There was a lot of talk when we were in college that the A-Rod contract was ridiculous. The 200.
Yeah, I knew you was going there. Yeah, and
but the Yankees absorbed it,
Right, yes. So
then they re-signed him. They won the World Series in 2009.
Right, and it was a combination of a lot of things going on in that year. So with A-Rod, I'm not sure that Soto's A-Rod. I think but that the situation is comparable, but not to play on. And I just want to see good baseball, bro. I want to see players who get paid max out and play the contract out. And I hope that happens, but am I skeptical it might not happen? There's a little bit of skepticism there. There is skepticism because, again, if you're talking about athletic being in the field, he is below a Harper or a Trout for their positions that they play for the for the money they're getting paid. So
that's interesting, man.
I'm not naive to the notion, bro. Not at all. So,
but I don't think Cohen's. I think he will spend the money, and it's not like he's going to a bad team. They were in the NLCS last year. Yeah,
that's another thing, and you want to ride that wave. You want to have as many people back on the team, to run it again. But that's not going to be possible because a lot of teams will pull at some of these players, and it's going to happen. So, you just got to be mindful and just keep it to the best of the player's ability on the field to help you try to get to win. And with the head manager like Carlos Mendoza, they got somebody there that's special. He should have won Coach of the Year, I think, but it's all right. He didn't. He doesn't need accolades, I don't think, to show that he is the right person at the right place at the right time. I was not really big on the general manager coming in, but he did a good job. He made a few picks to make sure there was balance on that team. So when again, I'm not a fanboy. I don't think the Mets are going to be the same team as they were last year, but they are much improved. And one of the things that they've been missing since 2005, and that's a freaking hitter. They got a hitter now. So,
Yeah.
and not to say that Lindor wasn't a good hitter, and McNeil was up and down. He was a Silver Slugger like 3 years ago. I mean, and then Nimmo can catch a hot streak, but you're not getting paid to be kind of good. You're getting paid to be some of the best players in the sport of baseball in the city of New York, and you need to show that. And it
Yeah.
needs to be there. If not, I'm not gonna buy tickets. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
go. See
Johnny
the play.
Damon, he says he thinks maybe the Yankees dodged a bullet by
Ooh.
not, he says Johnny Damon, former Yankee, former Red
Yeah.
Sox, that they're not signing him because they can use that money to fill other needs. And I don't know. I could see his point. They've
Right.
got two power hitters in Stanton and Judge.
Right.
You know,
And the biggest handcuffs
get
that
some
the
pitching
Yankees,
help and some defensive help, like Keith Engel said.
yeah, and the biggest handcuffs that they've had right now is that Stanton contract and now the Cole contract. Right, they're
Garrett
heavily
Cole's
taxed.
making a fortune. Yeah.
Yeah, they're heavily taxed, and it's not that they're like Cole has played his, again we can't count his money, but like he's played out his contract
I
a
think
little
he's
bit,
played pretty well.
and Stanton did pretty well last year for comparatively speaking to the last few years that he's been on the team. So
Chad with the throwback there. Keith Fernandez and Gary Carter, 86, man.
I no, look, and the fans,
they made a 30 for 30 on the 86 Mets.
yeah, and the fans that are our age and a little bit older, man, they're ready for that. They're ready. They see the young kids that the Mets have. They see the energy that is going on in Citi Field. It's very enticing. It's something different. And it's good to see that. That energy's back at Flushing, and we hope that with Soto there and with the baby Mets that are growing up and the new guys coming through that they can.
I like the mixture the Mets have.
Yeah, I
The
think
young with the superstar. This may pay off big for the Mets. I don't know.
I'm gonna go off on the women and say they're gonna be at least a third place winning, in the NL.
Okay.
Minimum, right? Because even with injuries, they have younger guys in the right places right now. So, and I think it's gonna be. I said that last year a lot too. It's like they're not gonna be.
Yeah.
They're not gonna win
Off
the
to a
division.
terrible start, but finished really strong, man.
Yeah, man, and that's that was good for them. It was good for TV. It was good for baseball. They were the most.
I
winning,
loved it. And then they beat the Phillies, man, right at the end there.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming, but hey, that Phillies Mets, that's just going to be that much more hyped. And of course, the Yankees and the Mets. I mean, what is it going to be like when it comes back to Yankee Stadium?
Listen, and we're talking about like I'm a season ticket.
You gonna go to that game?
I usually get the choice of going to the Yankees versus the Mets at Citi Field because I'm a ticket holder there. So,
yeah. But what about in the Bronx?
I don't know if I can rock going to the Bronx because their games are usually at night and
they do. They put all their stuff in prime time, don't they?
Yeah, and then so I don't like. Sometimes it just depends on what I'm doing and who. And
it's rough out there in the Bronx at night.
It depends on who I'm going with and stuff like that. So yeah, I may have the possibility of going, but we'll see. Season's coming up, so we'll see.
Thank you, Kathy. Okay. I got to ask you, man. I didn't expect this to happen. We were kind of joking about it. I thought it was just kicking tires on Bill Belichick. Now he's actually the coach of the Carolina Tar Heels, man. What's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. And I always said that if it's coach, he's past that coaching piece. And I feel like he should just be into management and administration because he's earned it to move up, and I know he might not want to do it, but even a consultant. But to see him go to UNC, I don't know if that's the best situation for him, but he made it a situation, and he's going forward with that. And Godspeed, right? And he's giving an opportunity also to his son to replace him if and when that happens. So, is it going to change the ACC and them playing North Carolina playing other schools? I don't know. I think maybe they'll have a better opportunity of getting a playoff spot in the next 2 years. But other than, I don't think a championship is anywhere near the opportunity that they can give UNC. You know,
What do you
'cause
think about the whole idea of him setting this up where his son can take over after their
I think it's something.
about that angle to it?
I think there's something real about that. I think that's like something that he's always done is been able to give his son an opportunity and let him learn things and look, nepotism is at its best in sports and especially
It's
sport like
really
football.
at its absolute peak
Like
here lately.
I have a fan. I'm a big fan of one of the coaches there in San Francisco. His dad was a coach, and he's a coach until, whatever. Like if you have to do that, that's okay.
Oh,
Take that
Shanahan,
opportunity.
yeah.
It's like, but
Yeah. Don't you think he should earn it, though? I mean, you would think Belichick is growing up a military family and everything. I think his dad coached for, I forgot who his dad coached for now.
wasn't it Army? No.
Yeah, I think so.
But
And for him just to say, okay, only way I go there is my son's going to take over as coach. I mean, his son was a coordinator at Washington University, defensive coordinator. Why don't he let him just learn on his own, and do his own thing? But
yeah, but to be honest with you, no matter where he's been learning, and he's maybe not doing it on his own. I think that's something different. But
yeah,
like no matter where you go
in
and
the
what you do, you're
50s,
learning.
Chad, yeah, his dad was
and
assistant there, yeah.
and you're getting that that experience, right? So how people get experience and what happens with it, no, that's all up to the person themselves. And I'm not, like I said, if I had my opportunities to let my son do something and it was available, then I'd take advantage of it because that's part
So
of the
you would do that. You don't worry about him learning and growing and doing it on his own, feeling independent.
Yeah, I mean,
You would give him that handout.
We all live a hard life, man, and there's nothing easy about getting a handout because you still got to make it shine. Like our last name, like I have a son, he has my last name, and no matter what he does, he needs to excel and be the best of what he does. And whether I give him the opportunity or not, that's something that he has to think about doing. Like we might give them the opportunity, but we're not doing the work. You know what I'm saying? So
So you're okay if he works there just 1 year, and then his son takes over, he goes back to the NFL.
That has more to do with UNC choosing someone like Bill, like him to do that, right?
You blame UNC for hiring him and for signing that contract.
You are so in denial about how good your football can be that you bring in one of the best football coaches who nobody wants in the NFL anymore because it's past him. The game is past him. But you want to make sure that you still a viable school and a viable name.
You sure that's the case though with Belichick? Maybe that was just one hiring session,
I don't feel like there's a team willing to take a waiver on him, or else he wouldn't have took that job.
Okay.
And I feel like if they would have, if there was something maybe he wants that no team wants to give, which is control, or total control, and no team wants to. Not they don't want him as a coach, but they don't want to give him that, and that's okay. So go to college.
So you still think he wants that total control, like he did in New England?
Without a doubt, because
even though he knows that that's what cost him his job with him doing the drafting,
So he's on the highest horse he can be because he's the most winningest coach, right? So he feels like he can say what he wants and get what he wants, and I guess that's what happened. He didn't get what he wants, and then he moved on to somebody that would give him something.
I hope he's not that stubborn. I thought with him doing the Manning cast and everything, and just getting out, being involved more with the media, kind of taking a turn, realizing that, hey, that's probably not the approach I should take now. That's the reason why we failed in New England at the end, But hey, man, maybe that is the case. Maybe that is the case.
I mean, we not. How many reports were there that there was teams that wanted him to be the coach?
Well, he didn't even sit through the whole hiring cycle. I mean, there's going to be other firings after the season. I mean, Jacksonville's probably going to come open. Maybe the Raiders.
Yeah, I was going to say you're the Oakland Raiders.
The Vegas Raiders now.
I mean, I'm sorry, you're the Vegas Raiders. I apologize.
He went black on me. He faded to black. Come on, Jay-Z. So anyways, I think Carlos is having some problems there. He is under Canadian soil there, so it's probably not as good a signal as it would be back home. I'll give him a second to pop back on there. What I will do, I can kick him from the studio. Wait a minute. I'll keep him here in case he does come back on. So we don't know that for sure if that's the case. You know, Jacksonville, I think is going to come open. Maybe he'll come back in here in a minute. He just pulled off. Okay, there he is. There he is. Fade to black. Made me remind me of that Jay-Z song.
No, all I'm saying is
it's so cold. Chad says the internet freeze.
That's why I still got the hoodie on. That's why I got the toboggan on. Listen,
where the hood at? Where the hood at?
I don't think that the Raiders were willing to give more than they can handle, and this is a guy that knows the family of the Raiders, right? This isn't just some new coach coming off of a hot college team or anything else.
I mean, what about the Giants? You know, do you think the ball survives?
I don't think after what happened with Brian Daboll and this guy. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah,
I don't think that was the case.
So, anyways,
yeah, I don't think that was the case that they want to bring back Belichick. It's not about bringing him back. It's about allowing him to manage people that, in the sense that they don't want, like they don't want to come off one bad and just keep rolling if something bad would happen because they hired Bill Belichick. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I think it's come to that situation for the Giants. They already made one mistake. They don't want to hire Bill Belichick and say and force him to have to be a winner, right? Without even the team having been able to have the team that is a winning team, right? And I don't think Bill Belichick would go to the Giants because they're not a winning team.
Well, but they'll have the number one pick, possibly number two pick.
Robert was the number one pick ever done for anybody in the last 5 years.
Yeah. Well, you never know. I mean,
number one pick.
It could be Joe Burrow. You know, it could be Andrew Luck. You know,
you talking about
Cincinnati would have been a good fit, but that owner's probably cheap. I think he does have his opinion of these owners. So I don't know. I just can't rule out the fact that this guy is right there for that wins record. And he wants it. He wants to get that Don Shula record. And it's sitting out there. And I just can't imagine he's going to go to college and let that go. I think he probably comes back. He probably comes back to the NFL. I think he really just wants to get his son a job and sit out one more year. Maybe he takes the Eagles job next year. Maybe he works out something with Dallas. I don't know. I don't really know at all. Hard to tell what he's thinking. He's hard to get a read on. You know, he's Darth Vader there. You know,
well, he Darth Vader,
but covert.
He missed the fountain of youth. You know what I'm saying? Like you can only be.
Yeah, he's in his 70s.
Yeah, so
I think hopefully, like Kevin said last night, he's got this 400-something page binder and this new way of doing it. Maybe he is going to stay the whole 3 years. And I would respect that a lot more than just working one and kind of pushing your son in there like that. That seems kind of sleazy, but you know,
it don't matter how many pages he got, man. If them kids on the field ain't +4,
and he's got a general manager. You know, the college game is turning a lot into the pro game. Let's do some rapid fire here. Any thoughts about Texas last week? Boy, he just come off again, man. Freaking Toronto. Anyways, I'll tell you. Oh, there he is. What's your thoughts on Texas, Georgia, man? Good game there.
Man, we called it, right? We called it.
Yeah, right. In overtime, too. You know, Kevin thought he thought Texas would win. I mean, you were like, nah, let's stick with Georgia. Let's stick with Georgia. They're just a little bit better defensively. And they just seem like to be a little faster as a whole, if you ask me.
And another thing is that depth, right? We talked about
they
it.
got a little bit more depth. Their quarterback went out and they got better.
I was going to say that.
That quarterback's pretty athletic. I don't know who that guy is. But they had depth, man.
Yeah, even Texas was like, who are these guys coming in from the bench, like whipping on us? Like,
did you think the first half? I thought Texas was going to win that game the way they played.
Well, I was kind of debating. I was like, did I make a bad pick? I thought about it a little bit, but then I was like, this is just the first half. And,
just let it play out, yeah.
Yeah, just let it play out. And then, like, you just kept missing throws, and the defense is a little tight over there. And I was like, this is not going to be easy for either team, right? And then they end up tying. I'm like, oh, gosh. Like, I'm just glad that Georgia won that because I totally missed on the SMU, right? That field goal.
Yeah, kick. Well, they had the league, and then, I don't know, man. Or Clemson had the league. We knew Clemson had the experience.
Right.
And I like that quarterback at SMU. But do you really think SMU should be in the playoff now at 2? I'd rather take a 3-loss Alabama team personally. But that's just me, man.
I think they did enough this year to, like, open up some eyes. I think there will be a better matchup than Alabama. To be honest with you, because they play faster. Like I said, that quarterback's pretty decent.
Jennings, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's what the committee wants. They want watchable, exciting football. Alabama football is not exciting. It's barely watchable. With the whole thing with them having a new coach and all that controversy, they don't want to bring that to the table on the bowl, on the playoff match. They don't want to hear about that. So I think the media and they already know that these college guys who have control, they're gonna do what they want to get the best entertainment on the TV, and they're not worried about numbers, coefficients, or anything about how it should play out. Because if they did, Penn State got a pretty nice little lucky draw there. So. And Tennessee got a terrible draw. So, these people, they want eyes on the screen, and they're going to get it. So,
what do you think about Oregon drawing a rough road there? They the number 1 overall seed, and they got to play Tennessee, Ohio State winner. Mm-hmm. Then if they win that game, they potentially have to play either Texas, Clemson. That's just. And, of course, perhaps, Arizona State would be the easiest one in that whole bracket there, But that's a rough road, man, to get to the national championship.
It's a rough road, and I don't believe, as much as I like Oregon and what they've been doing and how they've been doing things, I think they had the Super Bowl when they beat Ohio State earlier this year, and I don't think they're going to repeat to win again.
But you picked them to win.
I picked them to win what?
I think you picked Oregon to win the national championship, if I'm not mistaken.
I said I want Oregon to win a national championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want them to, but the way it's set up for them,
it's pretty rough. I don't know if they're going to do it or not.
It got me sweating, man. That's the only in this cold weather.
Yeah,
man, bro.
Like, I had Ohio State over Georgia. Now, both of them are in it. Ohio State would have to go through Tennessee and Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, I guess they would, Tennessee, Oregon to get there. Then, Arizona State. I don't like the way these things are set up with the whole Boise State getting the bye week and all that. And I think Kevin had a good point there. And even Keith, you shouldn't get the bye week just because you're a lower end. It should just go by the rankings. You see what I'm saying? Coming in, it shouldn't go by, okay, you won your conference. Now you get catapulted a best because your conference may not be as strong as somebody else's conference, like a Boise State or whatever, or even an Arizona State. Although Arizona State looked good the other night against Iowa State. We both called that one.
Yeah.
They should get those bye weeks just show by the regular rankings, and then the top teams get the bye weeks that with the ranking, like Oregon should get the bye week.
Right.
If anybody.
Yeah, and I think you're right about a few things, but I think we missed the point that a lot of media and a lot of the people that are judging these teams, the preseason polls are what's hurting this new system now, because now these teams are so, some of these the top 10 teams are so highly pushed up to the top that now you gotta, okay, start the season off, and it doesn't start off on a clean slate. It starts off with these top 25 teams already, like, you know, preseason pick to go into the championship run. So I think,
Yeah.
um I know it's crazy, but if you throw it out of the, you throw it out of the water, I think we would get a different type of, we'll get different type scenarios, and it'll force the committee to make sure that the team that's winning percentage will actually get the right will get the opportunity, and it'll be the right teams playing, right?
I think
Because
the
when you do,
rankings are fine. I
yeah,
disagree with
I-
that. I think that Oregon
because
was ranked 1 or 2 early on. Oregon's undefeated. And Georgia, strongest conference in the country. They got 2 losses, had some nail biters. But when it comes draft time, these guys are going to get drafted. Texas, they're going to get a lot of players in the NFL, man. You know?
yeah, but I mean, like, and not to say that it's not working now, but it's like these teams like SMU, like they get this whole, like, oh, that team, like, just let them play it out in the playoffs. Like, let
Yeah.
these teams,
Well, we'll find out. That's what we got this thing for.
right?
You know, it ain't perfect. I think
Nothing's perfect, right?
they should have a game this weekend. They should have a game Saturday. Tennessee and Ohio State should be playing tomorrow. They should not be
Right.
playing next week. They didn't
Yeah, I
play
agree.
last week. They can spread it out.
Right.
Like Keith said, they want to compile them on top of each other, which I hate, because a lot of these games are playing at the same time. You're channel surfing. You know, that kills me about these TV people, man. So, anyways, we'll pick the games next week for college. I'm looking forward to it. Let's see. We didn't even talk about last week's pro games. We both picked. I guess we can go back and talk about last week's pro games. Let's see. We didn't have that many. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Seattle wins again. They're in control in that West division. Now, I said the Rams will win the West. The Rams won last night.
Yeah, they did.
Any comment on that? They pretty much put 49ers. They're on their last leg. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. Maybe they get in as a wild card, but I think they're pretty much finished, the 49ers.
Did you watch the game?
A little bit. I thought it was going to be a lot more higher score, and I couldn't believe it.
It was like 7 punts before the first half was ended.
Yeah, I don't know where they get that energy to play that defense this late in the season. I was totally lost on that game. Rams, they beat Buffalo last week. Then they beat the 49ers this week. That was my preseason to hit. But last night I did pick the Rams to win, or I picked the 49ers to beat the Rams. They seem like the healthier of the two. I think that my take on the Rams and the 49ers is the Rams have done what we said the 49ers should do.
Right.
They got rid of players and they started drafting these defensive guys. And pretty much the whole defense is all draft players. They're not any free agent, big money free agents. They're all guys on rookie contracts, especially after Aaron Donald retired. The guys like Jared Verse and whatnot, they're going to get torched at time. They gave up 42 points to Buffalo, but they still won. They got their money in offense there. When they hit with Puka Nacua, they got him in the 5th round pick. But, you still got Cooper Kupp, and you got a lot of money still to Stafford there. And they put some money in that line. But the 49ers, man, they just cut a guy today. He didn't want to go back out there. Did you hear that story?
No, I didn't hear that story.
There was a player here, and his name is Devondre Campbell. He lost his starting job earlier this year. He was a free agent guy they picked up at linebacker from Green Bay, put him in there. He lost his starting job. and he was asked to come in the middle of the third quarter last night. He didn't want to do it, and the team did not like it. The teammates didn't like it. Cal Shanahan said, "We're cutting you," and they did. They cut him. They cut him this afternoon, today. 31-year-old linebacker out there. Somebody will pick him up, but that was pretty crazy there. But yeah, I think, like we said the last few weeks ago, man, they just need to trade a lot of these defensive players and get younger there and make way. And I would still keep Brock Purdy, man, and just build around him and retool. I don't know about rebuild is a strong word. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to move players, and they're tight end, man. Solid.
Kittle, yeah.
Kittle is like a solid, if they're going to get anybody, I'm not sure how he feels about still being on that team where he's so close to being in the championship game day. And then, the work that you put in and you're not getting nothing out of it. Maybe he changes his mind and leaves San Francisco, or wants to leave from San Francisco.
I'd move everybody on there except for Brock Purdy and oh God, who's the other guy? Ayuk. Ayuk just re-signed. I would keep Ayuk and I would keep him. And my main thing would be replacing Trent Williams. Get the left tackle first. And then build on the defense in the later rounds. If John Lynch and that 49er team here. So it looked like we said, it looks like Seattle's in the driver's seat. Chargers keep it close with Kansas City. We pretty much predicted that game. Let's start off with this week so we don't get too far behind. So it gives us more time to break these games down. What's your thoughts on Miami and Houston? Miami's right back in this thing, by the way. There's a big win over the Jets, even though Jets gave them all they can handle and they beat them in the end. The Jets, I was hoping the Jets would win that game and help Tennessee in the draft, but no such luck.
Nah.
What do you think about Dolphins and Texans, man?
I think the Dolphins will have the opportunity to actually put themselves in the driver's seat. The Texans, they need to play better. They need to be cleaner. They need to play a cleaner game. They need to score fast. When they don't score fast, they struggle.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about how Mixon was doing better, but they're not. If he getting 100 yards every single game, like what? How is he better? How is he helping this Houston team? I don't know. I didn't think that he was a good pick, but he's making his stats. But the problem is it not him? What's the problem over there in the offense? Because this is not the same offense that we saw last year at all.
Yeah, well, they've had injuries at receiver just about every other week. It's somebody else, like Nico Collins been hurt for a big chunk of the season, and Mixon himself. I knew that I'm one of the few people that says it was okay for Cincinnati to move off Mixon. I think Cincinnati could have got another running back. That was okay. I like Pierce. I don't know what – he's kind of slowed down a little bit, and he's still a pretty young guy, the other running back with Houston. But Houston's coming off a bye week, man, and I think it's a late bye week. Those teams that had did you see the spread, by the way, for the Giants and the Ravens? It's like 17 points. But you know what? The Giants are one of the only few NFC teams that beat the Ravens a few years ago, if you remember.
Just make it an even 21. Just do
right.
Just be nice,
I don't know, man. Maybe they come a little flat off that bye week, and the Giants give them a game. I would stay away from that. But Houston's also coming off a late bye week. It's the last bye week of the season for all the NFL. No more bye weeks, which is awesome.
Thank God.
But Terry and Teron Armstead is doubtful. Their left tackle for the Dolphins, but Dolphins are pretty good though. I think Houston, they're in Houston. They get it back together. And plus they're leading in the division. I know they got the Colts on them. I like Houston to win this game, 24-22. Going to be a tight game though.
It'll be a tight game,
yeah. Who do you like to win that game? It is in Houston.
Yeah, I like to flip that score because I don't.
You like the Dolphins to get the road win?
Yeah, I like the Dolphins. They need the road win, and they're gonna fight like heck. And Texans need to play a clean game. I ain't seen them play a clean game all season.
Not as clean as last year for some reason.
So I mean, even the defense. You talking about the offense, then, but I remember last year the defense scored a few points that helped that team stay in. And also they made some good stands to help that team be competitive, and they're not on the same. It's not the same. So I feel like the Dolphins might go in there and upset the Texans at home. So
okay, all right. So you're saying 24-22 the other way, Miami.
Yeah.
Okay, you trying to do a dent in my 9-game lead? All right, man.
Let's put a little.
Okay, Green Bay, Seattle. Now, this is Seattle, like we was talking about a second ago. They're leading the NFC West right now. Now, with that win last night, the Rams are right on their heels.
Right.
So they got to keep on keeping on. Green Bay, tough loss last week. Green Bay's still 9-4 though. They've actually got a better record than Seattle. It's a very tough division with that 3-team race there out in the north. This is in Seattle. This is Sunday night football, man. I do think it's going to be a close one, nail biter. I like Green Bay to get the road win 23-19. I think Green Bay bounces back. They had the extra rest. They're pretty motivated. I think they go out west and win. Could go the other way. It's going to be a good night. It's not going to be a bad weather night, for Sunday night football. But 24-19, Packers win on the road. But it is in Seattle, so I could see it going the other way. But I'm taking Green Bay. Big win there. What do you think, man?
I like that it's in Seattle. I like that people are not 100% back in Seattle. I like that young defense. I like that offense as they
young defense is pretty good in Seattle. Yeah.
If the defense scores one touchdown, that game is over for the Green Bay Packers. And I feel like it's going to be 27-21. And it's
Seattle.
Yeah, I think Seattle's going to win out because they need to make people and show people that they're a good team. And I feel like the Packers have always been missing something this season. It's not like they're not playing good, clean games, and their games are clunky. I don't know what it is. Like they have a running game now, but they just can't get that balance going on the offense. And then the defense is giving up too many points in close games. And the defense needs to be a little bit stronger in the closer games, and they're not there yet. So, and that's something that their head coach isn't good with. So they need to make sure that defensive coordinator.
You're saying Mike McDonald's going to outcoach LaFleur?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, well, Jair Alexander, I don't think is going to play in this game. Maybe DK Metcalf has a good game, or Jackson Smith-Njigba, who's been playing pretty well this year. Really a breakout year. I know he played pretty good last year, but he got really broke out this year.
He has great hands. Metcalf has great speed and hands, and I just, not for nothing. That quarterback, he has his ups and downs, but he can throw the ball and he can run, and that's a thing that the Green Bay Packers haven't been able to solve as a running quarterback. So I'm not saying that he's gonna break out and be like a Lamar Jackson, but I'm thinking that he's gonna give them a good fight. So.
Yeah, of course you like Bobo. Chad said.
I do. I like Bobo. That's my boy.
That's your favorite player in the league, man.
Dude, I just.
Is he still out there? I haven't seen much of him this year.
Yeah, I don't know if he had an injury or something, but like every time he comes out, I'm like, they're gonna give him the ball. So, I like Bobo. I like he needs a little bit more. He need to round up his game a little bit more, but he needs to start getting what's that word?
Reps.
He needs more reps, man. He needs to, if
Yeah.
not, just ask to be
Well, I
traded.
mean, you got Lockett there. Is he a tight end or receiver?
He's a tight. I believe he goes in as a tight end. I believe.
Oh, okay. Well, you
He
don't
looked like a
have the best
receiver, right?
quarterback in the world, but Geno Smith, you don't know
I
what
know,
he's
but
going
he
to do.
looks like a receiver. He looks like a receiver.
Yeah.
So
Well, then you got Lockett and Smith, and then, of course, Metcalf is the number
Metcalf.
one. So
Right.
kind of get lost in the shuffle. Tampa, you're a big Tampa guy. They're playing the Chargers this week. Chargers, tough team, just about beat Chiefs there.
Yeah, that's the game of the week right there.
Yeah, who do you think is going to win that game? And then I'll give you my analysis. They're playing at L.A.
They're playing in L.A. That's going to be a close game. I'm going to tell you, they're going to go – this one's going to be close. It'll probably be like 27-24, and Tampa Bay will win this on
You like Tampa? You're a big Tampa guy.
I think they'll win on a field goal.
Okay. Yeah, Bucks got a lot of defensive injuries, though. Starting corner is out. Both safeties are out, but Ladd McConkey might not play again for the Chargers. Now, he's up to questionable. So, really like the way Justin Herbert's been playing. Been playing through an ankle injury, but they're saying he's not even on the injury report. He's going to play. Yeah. So, Chargers are a tough team, man. That defense is really held in there. Like the way they played Kansas City last week. Yeah, I think definitely he'll have enough time to really, I don't care if it's throwing to Quentin Johnson or Josh Palmer. I do like the Chargers to win this game. 23-17. Chargers get the home win. Tampa's probably still going to be okay because Kirk Cousins is not getting it done with the Falcons. So Tampa's just sitting there in first place and everybody else is too far off to catch them.
Yeah,
Four games to go.
Yeah, I just feel like because they play such a close game to Kansas City, they don't really have enough depth to recuperate and go all out and play a team that you don't know what you're going to get from Tampa Bay. Mind you, that coach is a defensive coach, so he can get linebackers and safeties and corners to play a safe cover, safe zone for them enough to just be out on the field and then they have the offense right now pumping to get enough scores in there. So it's gonna be a good game, man. That's gonna be the game of the week. There's two.
It's a lot of good games in NFL side. Thank God, because there's no college on. They want to put things off in college. You can watch the Army-Navy game. Nothing against Army-Navy game. And the Heisman Trophy, I think Travis Hunter will win that. Do you think it's going to be close?
You know what? Sometimes when it comes to those AP people, committees, they sometimes give an award to a guy who got no opportunity of winning anything or national championship.
Running back.
So I think Cam might end up getting it just because You
think Cam Ward's going to win it?
It's possible. He played.
Nah, Hunter's an overwhelming favorite.
Hunter will definitely get Defensive Player of the Year for sure in college. But
you don't think he's going to win the Heisman Saturday?
I think a lot of people disrespect him and don't understand how great of a player he is.
So you're saying it's going to be Cam Ward?
I think if it's not Cam Ward, I'm saying they're going to give it to a quarterback.
Oh, okay.
How about that? Is that fair?
Well, that would be there. I don't think there's another quarterback that's eligible. I have to go back. You're would it be Dylan Gabriel?
Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, from Oregon. I doubt that. I think it's Travis Hunter all the way. Man.
We want.
I think he's going to win it going away. But we'll see. Or it could be that what's his name? Jency, the running back from Boise. He's got all these yards.
Ooh, that's another thing.
He's balling. He's balling,
He's hot, bro. He's doing good, man. He's
going to be a first-round pick. Philadelphia, this is going to be a good game. In-state, Philly, Pittsburgh. Eagles are 5.5-point favorites. I just found out today, though, Steelers, George Pickens not going to play. Pittsburgh's pretty good run D, man. And that's what the Eagles do best is run the ball. Pittsburgh's fourth in run D, but the Eagles are first in run D offense, but also first in total defense. Pittsburgh's 17th in pass defense. I could see A.J. Brown having a decent game this particular game. I think the Eagles get it together in the second half. They win at home against the Steelers 27-20. They win the state rival game. It'll be a good game, though. It'll be a good game. That'll be a highly rated game because, Steelers fans, they travel. And maybe a few fight in the stands. See if I can see our guy Jamie on TV. 27-20, Eagles get the win. What do you think about that? Steelers-Eagles going to be a good one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close, and I think it's going to be 24-21. I think it's just be a kick.
You think Steelers or Eagles?
I think the Eagles are gonna win.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that gives the Ravens a shot to get that one game closer to the Steelers, because I think the Ravens will probably end up beating the Giants.
I feel like the Giants are gonna do whatever they can to be the mistake of a team that they
tank and get that one pick.
And no matter what they do, they're not gonna win, man. I called it. Remember, I did, and people were like, "You don't think they'll win more than 7 games?" I was like, "I don't. I hope they win more than 7 games, but I'm gonna keep saying it. Like, I'm not. I like.
That's why I think that the ball could be in trouble. We'll see, though, man. We'll see. It's hard to tell. It's hard to get a read on what that owner's going to do up there. But Buffalo, Detroit, man, this is a really high over and under game, guys. 54.5. I haven't seen one that high in a long time. Just reading the odds. This is an NFL game, dude.
Oh my gosh! I mean, Allen. I think Allen has the upper hand on this for getting the stats. But I don't think he gets the win, man. I don't think their team is deep enough, man. And that defense is still kind of coming back.
Well, they gave up 44 last week, and games like last week is why I'm too reluctant to say they're going to win a Super Bowl. I just they got to tighten that defense up.
Yeah, that Bill. I don't know. Not
that Rams game where they gave up all those points.
Yeah, I don't. It's not that I don't like the Bills. I just don't think they're going to be in the Super Bowl anytime soon. So. Yeah, I think.
What's the score then? What do you got?
It's going to be a high score for both of them teams.
I think it'll be a high-scoring game, yeah.
Yeah, 32-27, Detroit wins.
No, we're pretty close. The Lions, by the way, they didn't have DJ Ritter, their defensive tackle, or Taylor Decker, their left tackle, last week. Those guys are back this week. They played Thursday. This game is in Detroit. Detroit is 12-1. Buffalo plays better, but their leading corner, this Rashid Douglas, is out. And this is in Detroit. I think Detroit gets their 13th win, man. 34-26 Lions is what I wrote down. So you like the Lions. I don't like the Lions
at all. I just know that I just feel like they're gonna.
You like them better than Buffalo this week.
I think the Buffalo Bills and the Detroit Lions are the epitome of what is wrong with football right now. They both got great records, but it's just like you can you get over.
Well, somebody's got to win the Super Bowl.
So yeah,
man.
somebody got to win.
So you like Miami,
yep,
and you like Tampa. We disagree, and you also like Seattle, right? Over Green Bay. So we disagree on 3 of them. Maybe you can cut into that 9-game lead. Plus, we got the college playoffs next week, man. Anything else you need to plug or whatever?
Playoffs? No, man. Just everybody enjoy the weekend. Try to stay warm. The weather's going to get cooler in a lot of places. There's some kind of squall coming through from the north to the south. So everybody just be aware of what's going on with the weather and be nice to each other, man. Keep it real.
Okay, man. Well, good luck with that Pokemon tournament. This is just Saturday only?
No, it's the whole weekend, man. It started today, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, man. It's a weekend.
He's got to play in all of it.
Well, he better do something. We up here in Toronto. He got to be in the game.
So he had to win to get to that point.
No. There's points that get allocated, and these are tournaments that he has to go to because his plan is to be to go to the World Championship. So that's a plan. That's I don't know.
You had to pay for all that, or did the company they pay for it?
No, you pay for it.
Oh, okay.
It's just like
sounds like you're having fun though.
Oh man, I'm a blast. With my son, I'm in a different city. Like it's fun. Always good time, man.
He's very good. He feel like he can play at that level.
Hey, listen, he's here. It's his first one, so we we checking it out. So.
Hey, it sounds like cool, man. Now get some pictures, man. Send them in there, and we'll see how that goes. Toronto. I've got to check that town out. What's the weather like up there?
It's like.
Is it going to snow any while you're up there?
It might snow after I leave.
Oh, okay.
No, like it's
just cold,
it's around
20-something.
Yeah, it's around 25 to 30 degrees, but it feels like like 10. You know, like it's cold.
Okay. This
that
cold
wind,
and clear.
Yeah, that wind is cold, man.
That Canadian air.
It's fresh.
Hey. All right, man. The Mad New Yorker made it. He's up in Toronto land.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'll see you next week. And hey, good luck tomorrow.
Appreciate it.
Be back next week, folks, on the Real Sports Scope. Have a good weekend, everybody.